Memo to liberals. Shut the f*** up and listen to the truth. This is the Savage Nation on Talk 910 KNEW.
I'd like to talk about now the protests in Iran and where are the protests in the United States. Across Iran, people are rising up in protest against Ahmadinejad. The election was stolen by the Hitler of Iran, and people are now putting their lives on the line to demand justice. What happened? The internet and cell phone service in Iran shut down by the government. Demonstrators being shot and killed in the streets, but still, they go out and they protest. But here in the United States, there is nothing but silence. What do I mean? Last year, there was an election in which there were serious questions about fraudulent ballots from Acorn, voting by illegal aliens, and the very birth certificate issue of the candidate who won. We supposedly elected a president who was a previously unknown senator. He had no serious background or experience to be president. But after it, despite all of the questions about illegal aliens and fraudulent ballots and Acorn, no protests, no riots, no demands for an investigation into vote fraud, nothing but acquiescence here in America. Why? Americans have a mindset of conformity. They have bellies stuffed with junk food and minds stuffed with Moloch's media madness. Americans of today are taught from childhood not to say anything hurtful, not to say anything offensive, not to look racist, and certainly never to hit back. The few that have not been completely brainwashed look to the leadership of the Republicans, but the Republicans didn't want protests either. They didn't want to win. They had just had 8 years to empty the U.S. Treasury and knew it was the Democrats' turn to empty the Treasury. In Iran, there may be religious oppression, sure. But in the United States, the pervasive oppression of thought by the media, the diversion of energy and attention into psychological and political pornography, and a constant stream of doublethink prevent any effective protest by the population. Iranians are actually blessed by the absence of Western media. Even under the oppression of the mullahs, they can still think freely, if not always act freely. Iran may have jackbooted soldiers shooting protesters in the streets, but in the United States, they're not even needed. The government media complex is not worried that you will ever get up off your couch, march into the streets, and defy them. In Iran, even the Republican Guard seems to be turning against Ahmadinejad. Several of them were arrested today. In the United States, the only thing that needs to be arrested is your thought process. I'm Michael Savage, and I approve of my monologue. Do you hear the statement Obama gave? You got people being shot to death in the streets of Iran because they know the election was fixed, right? Obama comes up with a statement, I don't want to meddle. You hear this? What leadership? A towering giant. Obama says it's not productive to be seen meddling. But he's the leader of the free world. That wouldn't be meddling to say that the election was a fraud and that we want to recount. But then if he said that, it would open up the whole fraudulent election of Obama. You know, the people in Iran are actually freer than we are here. I've been thinking about this. Many of us understand in our guts that Obama was elected because of two things. One, a compliant media. Two, millions of illegal aliens voting for him who had no right to vote. And three, maybe millions of people who were not even alive or voting many times through Acorn's pressures. There should have been protests in America. There should have been millions of people in the streets demanding a recount, demanding that Acorn be investigated. But do you know that in Iran they have an opposition party, the Democracy Movement? We don't even have an opposition party in this country called the Republicans anymore. Why? How many years have I told you it's a one-party system? You have lost this democracy. You had lost it long before I began a radio. It's long been a one-party system. Democrats, Republicans. 8 years the Republicans raped the Treasury. They didn't want it anymore. So they ran the doofus McCain. Every time he surged in the polls, he said, oh, don't vote for me, basically. Don't vote for me. Vote for Obama, basically. He had every opportunity to win, but the Republicans had gotten through raping the Treasury. And the way the game works is Team B then gets to rape the Treasury for 8 more years. So they didn't want to win. There should have been massive protests, Acorn, illegal alien votes. So as I say, it seems to me there's more freedom in Iran right now.